Hey Witch, and welcome back to Witch Hunt. I'm Panda Bennett, and today on the trial of Benjamin Blak, we'll be discussing his spiritual path and everything that entails. And I'm beyond excited. You have the channel. Your channel's pretty new, isn't it?
Yeah, I literally started it at the beginning of the year, so it's really, really fresh. Yeah, it's exciting to be doing a new thing on YouTube. It's good.
Yeah, and I love it. I love the stuff that's there. I just want more. And I just watched your altar video, which is like your altar is gorgeous. It looks amazing, but you just refreshed it for spring and for the equinox, and I absolutely love that video. Uh,
Thank
so
you so much.
yeah, and you guys, of course, as always, I will put all of his information down below so that you can connect with his channel and Instagram, The House of Blak. But yeah, why don't you tell people, for anyone that's not already obsessed with your channel like me, any labels that you subscribe to, whether it's like a green witch, or maybe you don't call yourself a witch, maybe you call yourself a seeker or a mystic, or yeah.
So it's so funny because I feel like labels and titles are such an interesting thing to like say, I own this thing.
Yeah, I think they are.
Which I think is cool though, right? Like to claim something. So I definitely witch. I claim witch 100%. I claim card slinger 100%. Love that title. And spiritual anarchist is the new one I've kind of coined for myself.
Wow.
My thing.
I like that. I also want to be like a spiritual anarchist. Like, so how did you come up with that one? Like, tell me kind of what that like entails for you.
Well, it's funny because my path's always been like very like witch orientated, and then over the years my path has gone. There's definitely been like a spiritual edge to it as well, and I've looked further beyond the maybe would just be classed as like witchcraft. So it definitely went into the spiritual realm, and then I've always really struggled with like black and white thinking and being like kept inside a box. So rebelling against that is I'm pro that. Like I'm very anti-dogmatic. Like everyone should be on their own journey. What speaks to you, take that, run with it. And I don't like anything that's too prescribed. So spiritual anarchy for me is like rebelling against that and saying, right, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to explore. I'm going to see what resonates for me. Take that, leave the rest. You know.
Wow, I love that. I'm a spiritual anarchist too. That's really cool.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. So thank you for sitting down with me today. And it's like early morning my time, but I know that where are you at? Because it's afternoon your time or evening, right?
Yeah, so I'm in southwest England, and it is currently midday that we are talking. So right in the middle of the day. So you are bright and breezy, and I'm like, my day is starting to unfold already.
Yeah, I am. This is my bathrobe.
No, it looks fabulous for a bathrobe. I'm living for it.
I can't believe it. No one would ever know. Like I just took the belt out of it, and I've had this for years. I've been wearing it forever. I wear it everywhere. But I just took the belt out of it because then nobody knows, except for I just said it on the internet. But other than that, you know. Okay. I lost you.
Oh no. Oh no. Ah. Oh no. What's happening? Oh no. Okay.
Are you still there? Okay. Okay, yeah. So
I just had a pop-up on my screen. I was like, I did not go in do not disturb mode.
Oh, okay. No, it's okay.
Did my pop-up show up on your screen?
No, it didn't. I can't see it.
Okay.
Okay, so why don't you tell us a little bit, if you're comfortable, share with us what your path centers on, kind of what you're focusing on. I know, like you said, you're a card slinger, how you use that to empower yourself, or yeah, just tell us all about you.
Yeah, so it's interesting because like my path has changed so much like over the years. Where I've kind of landed on right now is I'm all about kind of like authenticity and finding like truth and awareness of self. Like I think it's so key to really know ourselves and learn to love ourselves. And through that, I think that's what allows us to connect and find our tribe and our people and really have like positive human experiences. And my kind of approach to doing that is through tarot. but through the tools of like shadow work and self-love. So shadow work is very much like unpacking all the baggage that society and our experience and our traumas put on us. And I think self-love is taking a step forward into your truth of who you are. And I think those two together are really like a powerful duo to really lead to self-acceptance and really just learning to be with yourself and finding out who you are, which leads, like I say, I think to true connection and happiness and joy and all the stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at now, and it feels good. By the way, sorry I'm so bright. I don't know what's happening with the sun, but my face just keeps going like so bright.
So I absolutely love that. Like I'm obsessed. I just want to be best friends and hang out all the time. But I really like the thought, and I don't know where I heard this. I don't know if it was like in a card deck somewhere, like an oracle deck, if I read it somewhere, but just the thought and the belief that like how you love yourself and like how you love and accept yourself is like acts like this beacon, and it shows everyone else around you like how you should be loved, and it draws like that vibration draws the people to you that should be in your life. Like as you raise your vibration and accept yourself and do that shadow work and step into that self-love, that it just acts as this like really beautiful beacon, like drawing the people to you that should be in your life, and then also like showing other people how you should be loved. Like it just acts as this beautiful example. And yeah, I'm totally obsessed with that thought.
I love that so much, and that's totally resonant for like how I've experienced it in my life, and kind of what I hope to help other people connect into as well. Do you know what I mean? Connecting into like the beauty and truth of who they are, because when we do that, that's what unfolds, right? That's the kind of experiences we can have, and that's everything, you know? So that resonates with me so much. I love that.
So okay, so I'm obsessed with your channel, but I just watched on your video the other day that said that like you're going on like a 600-mile hike, like, and you're gonna be gone and like backpacking. And
Yeah.
first of all, that sounds like so nourishing and spiritual and like just being out in nature, and it sounds so like healing. But like at the second part, I'm like, what do you mean you're gonna be gone? Like you better be taking us with you. Like you better be vlogging the whole thing. Like I better be hiking right along with you. That's crazy.
First of all, thank you so much. That's so lovely to hear you say. I appreciate that so much, that you are so supportive of my channel. So thank you. And yeah, the hike. Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, I feel like it's been a crazy year, right? It's been like insane, and I feel like my heart and my soul needs to just walk and be with nature and like just restore my spirit, you know. So I'm so excited for it. I'm like, come on May, I'm holding out.
So like, is this something you do like normally? Like,
but I've done a lot of hiking before, and I've done a lot of long distance hiking. I went to New Zealand maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. I did a lot then, and since then I've been saving up to actually hike the Appalachian Trail over in America, and been saving up for years, buying all my gear, and I was meant to be going this year, and then obviously with COVID and everything, it's like off the table. So I literally said, okay, what is the longest hike in England? And it was the Southwest Coastal Path, which is 630 miles. So I was like, right, that's the one. So I'm going for it.
630 miles. How long will that take you?
So it should take about 6 to 8 weeks. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how fast my pace is going to be, or how like slow and relaxed I'm going to go. But the AT that I was going to do, that's 2,200 miles. So it's actually like a lot less than I was planning.
Oh my gosh, that's just like, that's so crazy. Are you going by yourself?
Yeah. Well, I was trying to train up my cat to come with me. Like I brought him a harness, and I was like training him up, and we were leash training, but he was not having any of it. So it was going to be me and the cat, but now it's just me, sadly. He's going to stay at home.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That's so amazing. And I just, yeah, I'm jealous. I wish that I was going. I wish that I was brave enough to do something like that, or fit enough to do something like that, because I'm definitely not. But like just thinking about like being in nature and having that time to really think and connect with self and connect with the earth, like it just, yeah, it's going to be super healing. Will you do any like video updates like on your travels, or no?
I haven't decided. I'm kind of like doing that thing. I'm like, right, it's for my spirit and my soul,
Yeah.
but also being very aware that like I've connected to so many people through this last year through starting kind of whatever this thing's called that I'm doing. And it's like, I don't want to lose those connections. So I might like post on stories on Instagram, or I might do record clips and put it together maybe, or I might just go complete hermit and not do anything. I'm not sure.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. I only ask for selfish reasons. So don't feel like you have to, like, yeah, get out and do what you need to do for yourself, because that's always that spiritual self-care, physical, mental, emotional self-care is really what's most important, especially in these times, in these, you know, we're in the middle of a panorama and it's just like crazy. So yeah, definitely taking care of yourself. So when you're not hiking 600 miles with your cat, like what does your daily magic, what does your path like look like? Do you have any daily rituals that you do that really, you know, help center you or anything like that?
Yeah, so I suppose most of my practice is a lot of day-to-day stuff now, rather than like bigger rituals or spell work. It tends to be focused more on how can I kind of level myself out each day to, you know, keep moving forward. So it's a lot of meditation, just sitting at the altar, connecting with deity. I do the workings I do a lot of like little workings like candle magic and banishings and burnings and things like that. So it's really just checking in with myself. I suppose my main thing I do is reflect, just sit down quiet and see what comes to me. And that can come out in so many different ways, you know, through yoga or journaling or meditation. So it's eclectic. I have no like set thing, but I think that's part of the magic, you know, not knowing what's going to come up each day, you know?
Yeah. So when you do your shadow work, do you do your shadow work like through the tarot or just with self or through journaling, or how do you do your specific style of shadow work for yourself?
So it's so funny because I feel like I live in shadow like all the time. I feel like I'm very comfortable in the dark. So I feel like it's something I'm doing like all day, every day, you know. I'm forever questioning and unpacking and trying to understand. And if it's like bigger issues or like real like shadow wound stuff that I want to, it's taking time to heal. It's very much journaling, inner child work, sitting down with the cards to try and understand and question why and what and how it's manifesting. So kind of techniques, they're all over the place again. I'm one of those people, I don't know if it's because I've got two fire signs, my moon and my sun, but I'm very like, I'm all in and I get bored quite easily. I need change, it needs to be exciting. And it's like, so I'm all over the place. I do it all.
Okay. So I'm a Cancer and I do like shadow work is like my whole base. Like, and so, but I help other people. I do shadow work sessions a lot. And but then it's like almost I sit down for myself and I'm like, I don't know how to do like I don't know how to do this. And it's just always easier. It's I mean, I think with almost anything, it's easier to look at other people's situations objectively and get down and dirty with that. But I have to do mine almost through the cards because I need that help and that prompt to like to get there. And then also for me, like you said that you feel like you're always in shadow. I feel like I am always meeting my shadow, but there are definitely times where like the bigger things and the more trauma things, like they're kind of over here and I have to be like mentally and emotionally like prepared and like fortified to like go meet those things. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%, 100%. I feel with those like daily triggers, those little things, like they're little pieces of like a bigger jigsaw, right? But to actually go right in there to the deep stuff, that needs to be a process for me too. Like I really need to like prepare myself mentally and then know I'm going to approach that and be really gentle with myself, because I've realized as well, like with being so much of like a shadow worker, I can get lost in that very easily and I can very much stay in that heavy, dark, intense place. And sometimes I need to remind myself and be like, okay, we need to come out of this for a little bit. You don't need to deal with every single thing right now. You can just say, okay, I need to protect my energy right now. I'll shelf that for later. And sometimes I'm not good at that. I'm like, okay, let's dive in then. But that can become exhausting, as I'm sure you've experienced. as well.
Yeah, the one thing that I just started doing this year actually, that's really, really helped me is like creating like a trauma altar or a grief altar that has things on it that
Mm.
are connected to that situation. And it's like, it's not a part of this altar or any of my other things or my ancestor altar or anything like that. It's its own just little space. And then it's like I can go to that when I'm ready and I feel emotionally strong and I'm like prepared to do the work. And um then like when I'm not, or when I'm not able, or I don't have the extra like bandwidth or like brain power or emotional or heart space to deal with it, like I just kind of avoid that area. But it's like it's kind of almost like I could physically take it off and set it down and like put
Mhm.
it on that altar, and
Mm.
then I go to work with it and work through it as I'm able to, if that makes sense. That probably doesn't. It was weird. I'm sorry.
No, that totally makes sense. I'm nodding and agreeing and thinking, yes, I need this. I need this like safe space cocoon that I can visit and like know it's time and be ready, and then be able to have that space, I think. Because yeah, I think when you invite in too much, like I said, it can come into all areas then. So it's so lovely to have that designated space to be able to do that. So I really, really like that idea. Like I like it a lot.
So like I said, I'm obsessed with your altar. And then you changed it up. So do you do any like deity work then?
Yeah, so big on deity work, which is funny because I never thought that would be something that would be in my path, but it kind of strong-armed its way in, and now it's like here. So yeah, so I've worked with Hecate. I've worked with her for I don't even know how many years now, 8 years maybe or something. It could be longer, it could be less. My memory's really bad, but it's been me and her for like a long, long time. And then through this pandemic and everything that's happened this year, Bridget has come in now, so I work with Bridget, even though she's been like around for ages, and Ganesh as well came in, which is funny because I never thought like that pantheon, like I've never overly connected to it. So it's funny what appears when you make space for it, and that what you don't expect, and that's what I love about deity. You know, it's always unexpected.
That's really cool. And so then like just tell me more about it, because I don't do any deity work. Like I don't. But again, like that may change next year, next week, as my path evolves and changes. But so like do you like call on them, or it was like they called to you and now you're like working together through different things, or it's just like comes and goes, or you honor them during the Sabbats? Or yeah, tell us what you do, because I know it's different for everybody.
Yeah, totally. I think it's such a personal experience. And it goes back to like the spiritual anarchy thing again, because my view of deity was so set up, like Wicca was kind of my way into witchcraft and the spiritual path. And that is very it's set up in a way that's very structured, yes. So I find it really hard to break out of that structure with deity. But what I've come to realize for me personally is that it's really how I view deity is kind of like a reflection of my inner self. So it's like connecting into parts of me and kind of a greater consciousness as well. I feel like it's so multifaceted, the topic of deity. It's really hard to like pin down. But for me, it's kind of like a presence and an energy that I feel. And it kind of also gives the way for messages to come through when I go out into nature. Like it's just like a feeling I get that connects me into that energy, which kind of gives me a knowing or an understanding or answers questions. So I light candles them for every day when I go to the altar, but I'm not very like formulaic or very structured about it. I kind of just light their candles and I sit there and kind of, it's weird, like a message will come through or I'll get a feeling and I'll know what energy is kind of coming in, and then I'll pull cards for them, like they have their own decks that I work with them for, or I'll journal, or I'll just like have messages in my head, which sounds so crazy to say that I get messages in my head, but it's like when you experience it, it doesn't feel crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally get that, but I always with those things, especially people that are new, like they can feel like, am I doing this right? Am I doing it wrong? Is this silly? Is this sound weird to say that out loud? like almost everything that we do, like spiritually or witchcraft wise, you can, like, I always take it and then I tie it to something like very mundane. And it's like, okay, so setting your intention, okay, so like is the same as making your wish and blowing your birthday candles out. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
that's the same thing. Like getting cut off in traffic and cursing at the person in front of you, like that is the same thing. Like there's always something mundane that you can tie it to, and then it doesn't seem as weird. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because it's not crazy, because people are like, oh, let's knock on wood. Well, if you trace that back, that goes back to like the fairies that protected, like tree fairies. Like that's when people are
Cool.
like, oh, knock on wood. Like, yeah, because you're asking the tree fairies to like protect you. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just, yeah, so it's not weird. It's not weird.
It, I love that about the phrase of it. I did not know that. That is new information. So I think that is so cool. And yeah, and when you were saying that, it was reminding me, it's kind of like, you know, when you explain something to someone, and when you explain it to someone, you kind of solidify it for yourself. Kind of, I view deity a bit like that as well. It's kind of like tapping me into my own inner knowing through a lens of consciousness that is like the deity, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
that kind of feeling is kind of what deity gives me, I think. But like I said, I still don't know myself. It's one of those things. I'm one of those people that I'm always open to possibilities. So I'm never like, this is what I believe. It's like, I'm like, well, it could be this or this, and I think it could be everything. I'm always about like the experience more than understanding the experience. I don't worry about understanding it. I just want to experience it. Because if it's like true for you, I think then it's true.
That's
right?
what matters. Yes. Yeah. And that's exactly, yes, you guys. And that's exactly what it is with your path too. If it's true for you, then that's what it is. There's no one here to tell you it's right or wrong. I just watched this video that said, oh gosh, it just felt, you know how when you like read something or you watch something and it just feels like this light bulb, super profound moment. Like this was actually a TikTok, but the guy that he talks about all really interesting stuff, but he said, he's like, you know, when you go to someone's house and you spill a glass of wine and you like break the glass, spill this red wine on the carpet, and your friend is like, oh, it's okay, it doesn't matter. Like you're still cleaning it up because it matters, but now it's like not stressful and awful. But like if your friend was really angry that you'd spilled the wine on the carpet and you broke the glass, or they were sad or upset, like it still matters, but it's like just extremely stressful and you're like hard on yourself. They're like that is the universe. Like that's the universe is the host that is like nothing matters. So like just live in love and like don't let stress get to you, because like if it's true for you, it's true for you, and like just do what you need to do, because like they did, like the universe just said like it doesn't matter. So like whatever you need to like fulfill yourself, heal yourself, empower yourself, or like connect to whatever is authentic for you, in you, like that's what it's about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's so beautiful and such a way to think about it as well. I think that is everything, you know, that is the answer. Because I spent so many years like trying to over intellectualize my practice and what I was doing, and to understand everything that I was doing and to get it right, you know, to try and I had to do things the right way. And then when I really threw that out the window and said, you know, I'm just gonna like feel into it and do what feels right, that's when my practice really opened up and I began to like experience, you know. So I love that so much, and yeah, really resonates with me. Love it.
yeah, and it's there is no like, that's, I mean, that's another reason I created this series, because there just is no right way to, you know, right way, wrong way. Like your practice is going to look different from my practice, and you know, as long as you're like loving yourself and feel empowered and you're healing, like it's going to be different for everyone, and you're finding what works for you. And I think that that's what's so special. You know what I mean?
Totally. I love that. And that's what I like it, when people like can join on that messaging to help like younger practitioners or people coming as well. Like that's the other thing with spiritual anarchy. It's like rebelling against dogma, because I hate dogma so much. People are like, this is the way, this is the answer, this, and I'm like, no, that's so damaging, because it took me years to unpack and like get over that, you know.
Yes.
So when like you saying that is, so I'm like, yes, because I'm here for it, babe.
Oh yeah, I know. I had a different trial with somebody else, and I had like a list of questions that I wanted to ask her, and then in the first 5 minutes she was like, so I have a bunch of religious trauma, and I was like, you have religious trauma? I have religious trauma. Like,
yes.
Oh, we're best friends now. And then we fell down that rabbit hole, but it's awful. I mean, and it happens to so many people. And it's like, I think about the time that I've given and like the stress and the amount of just that I had lack of self because of that dogma, because I was like, I'm, gonna go to hell, and I'm not, good enough. And, I didn't pray hard enough, or I don't believe hard enough, or all these different things. But it's just, yeah, it's so terrible. I love the title spiritual anarchist. That would be me as well. Like, but yeah, it's taken me a long time to unpack all of that, and I'm still working on it. But yeah.
I think that's the thing, that stuff like really has an effect on us, right? And it really stays with us as well. And that's like the thing with shadow, trying to understand and unpack that and see where that affects us in other areas of our life as well. It's like terrifying how much those experiences really can shape who we are, and that is shadow, right? Unpacking that, which was never meant to be put on us in the first place.
Yeah, and some of it isn't even ours. Like, some of it we're carrying, like, you just carry trauma, generational things that aren't even ours. That it's like, the other day I caught myself like responding to a situation, and I was like, that's not even my, like, that's not my stuff, like, that's not my response. Like, I'm definitely gonna have to look at that. That's like some stuff that's been passed down from like my grandparents to my parents to me, and I don't want it, but
and that's the thing, it's so crazy, because you're like, no, and then you're like, oh, and it like fries your head, trying to make sense of it all. But part of the journey, right? Part of the journey.
Yes. Yeah. So do you have any, like, for people that are learning, do you have any books or content creators or blogs or anything that really helped you on your path, either when you first started or even yet today, that you would recommend to people?
Oh, that's such a good question. And it's so hard, because I feel like I'm such a magpie with these things. That like I go for everything, so it's hard to like pinpoint one direct source. So I'm not sure. So many people. And now it's like my mind just got blank, and it's like I don't want to say people in case I forget someone. And I'm like, oh, but everyone, the world.
Yeah.
Everyone you meet's a teacher. I love that saying. So everyone.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I absolutely love that. I always say like that everyone you meet either teaches you something like about you, or that everyone that you're in a relationship with will either teach you, and people will be like, oh, well, I didn't have a good connection with that person. I'm like, yeah, but then they told you what you didn't want, or they taught you how you didn't want to be treated, or what kind of connection and energy exchange you didn't want to have. Like, they're still teaching you. Like, even our disappointments in life give us wisdom and knowledge. Like, they're still teaching us. Like, yes, everyone that you come in contact with is a teacher, for sure. Like, I absolutely love that.
And I think I'm totally feeling that, and when you approach it in that way, I almost feel like things are easier, not necessarily easier to take, but you can more have find comfort in things and understanding, because when you reflect them back on yourself, that you're doing the inner work then, right? It takes a step forward for you to understand yourself better and empower yourself then. So it's like, even though things can suck, when we look at it through that lens, I find it helps.
Yeah.
I feel like it helps me anyway,
Yeah, just that shift in perspective. Just really, it takes it from like the glass being empty to like half full, or like whatever the saying is. I think I got it wrong, but whatever the saying is.
I'm with you, babe. I totally know what you mean. Yeah, like I used to get really annoyed at people, like when I would pass people and they wouldn't be polite and kind and friendly. And like that used to like trigger me so much. And then I was like, and it's like, well, what good is in that, right? What good is in people out in the world being rude to you and just like, you know what I mean, when they're in a bad mood? And then unpacking it, realizing, oh, it actually showed me what kind of my values and beliefs are, and that kindness is a big thing that I'm about. So it made me understand myself on that level. And then it brought up so much stuff about belonging as well, and acceptance, and wanting belonging and acceptance, and like those small interactions of people not just being not smiling or saying hello back, like has taught me so much about myself when I really sat with it and unpacked it. So I think even in those micro moments of like annoying things or whatever, they can unpack so much as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it helps you. It's helped me. I always speak for myself, but like it's helped me just even doing that work and meeting that shadow for me to be so much more patient and meet people, like sometimes even problematic people. I have a lot of problematic family members, even just be able to meet them with more like understanding and patience, and just being able to see like those things that you say are hurtful, but it's because someone said them to you. It's because someone, you know what I mean? It's like the hurt that they carry also. And now I can see that, and not just like, I don't have to take that on. It's not mine to carry. It's, you know what I mean? Like it makes it easier to like navigate those situations with all different kinds of people when you can just kind of shift that perspective, I think, you know?
Yeah, totally. Like having that conscious awareness of yourself and seeing it in the other person. Suddenly, like it's that thing where it just doesn't burn so hot, you know, it's easier to take because you can kind of see it for what it is and not make it. Because I have this way of making it so much more than what it is. You know what I mean? I think it's all that fire energy again. So it's like doing that helps so much.
Yeah. Yes. So just tell me before we go here, tarot I know is a big part of your practice. Tell me about how you got started with that and how you utilize that. I know you read for others, you read professionally as well. So yeah, just I don't know, tell me everything about you because I'm obsessed.
Thank you. You're too kind. You're so lovely. Thank you. Yeah, tarot. Tarot is, I think tarot kind of became the vehicle for me to do this work to understand myself. I was very much like you, where I find it hard to like step out of the role of having the experience to be able to go do that two-sided conversation with myself. And tarot kind of helped me to be able to do that, to be able to get some objectivity and step back and view the situation overall, so I could really question and understand and then move through that. So tarot for me has always been more focused on self-development, personal development, shadow work, just understanding myself really. And I think the cards are so amazing for that. And as I've gone through with tarot, I just love it more and more because through readings for myself, I connect deeper with the cards, and cards hold memories and stories and experiences. And like my whole life is in that deck of cards since I picked them up. I don't even know how many years ago now, but like I live in them, you know what I mean? And that rich symbology comes into the world and into life. And it's like a home for me to be able to find neutral ground within myself whenever there's like something going on. And it's such a powerful tool. And I could talk about tarot for literally forever. It's like my favorite. And I know you love it too. As I know you're just as passionate as I am about tarot.
So what's your favorite tarot card?
The High Priestess.
Really? Tell me about it. Tell me why.
Quick answer.
Oh my gosh, it was so fast.
I've kind of come to see her as like the pinnacle of my whole spiritual journey, really. First of all, a woman, empowered woman, femininity and women have always been like my teachers, my soul sisters, like my tribe are women. So it has to be the High Priestess. And the way she sits so calmly between the dark and the light, it's like the conscious, the unconscious, the shadow, the love. She's so self-aware to be able to stand there between those two pillars in herself, comfortable within that, to have that insight and wisdom into her own psyche and not be afraid of it, unapologetic. Like she looks you right in the eye, you know. And I feel that's what I'm working towards in my practice, to have that level of self-awareness and self-assurance and be able to go into the shadow and go into the light and stand in my power and beauty between the two. She's kind of like the overarching figure of my spiritual journey, I guess. Because even my deities, like I have Hecate, who's like a dark deity, and I have Bridget, who's like, well, not a light deity, but it's very black and white, you know, and it's like the high priestess is this gray of the two that is like everything. I just love her.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I love that. I love that explanation. And yeah, is it Bridget, is she like, isn't her thing fire also? Because you're all about fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. What else do I need to ask you? I got totally off track. I've been babbling. So what else do you have coming up, I guess, before you go? When do you leave again? Next month?
So May, I'm thinking. I haven't set an official date yet, but I'm thinking the beginning of May. So yeah. So I'm doing a tarot magic workshop, hopefully coming up soon, which is going to be coming out in April. I haven't set the date yet, but I'm going to be doing that, which I'm really, really excited about. And I also have there's a Instagram page called Witch with TV, and it's the brand Witch with Me. They started a TV channel over on Instagram TV, and I'm going to be doing a series for them called The Threads of Tarot, where I kind of break down the different ways we can interpret the tarot cards to kind of bring the story together through our reading. So looking at like numerology, collective numerology, the elements, the majors, the minors, all the stuff. I'm going to be doing a series coming out week by week for them over on Instagram as well. So they're my two things I've got going on at the moment that I'm working on, which I'm excited about.
Okay. Awesome. I'm really excited about that. I will be there. You guys, as always, check the links down below so you can connect with the House of Black and the tarot course and the new show. And yeah, just thank you so much for sitting down with us today. This was amazing. It was really, we need to just, I'm gonna be hiking. I'm gonna be out there. I'm totally out of shape. I'm gonna be hiking with you and your cat. Like
Oh my God, I would love that so much. I'm so grateful for you to having me on. I love your channel here and connecting with you here. And now on Instagram, it's just so lovely when you reached out. I'm really, really touched and grateful for you having me here. So thank you for having me. I so appreciate it.
Yes. And you guys, again, take care of yourselves. Make sure you do your own research. Don't just take someone's word for it. There's no right way, no wrong way, just your way, whatever works best for you. So we will see you guys back for another episode of Witch Hunt. Bye.